All right, so I am finished with my first layer in the background, and I just did some random transitions. I also, like I said, made sure that I painted around the edges. So it's important to do that. The other thing that I didn't really talk about that we need to start talking about now are the edges in your drawings or in the actual painting, not just the edges of the canvas. So right now, even on this early stage, you want to make sure all of your edges are nice and crisp. So in order to do that, let's say I find like there's an area over here. I need to make sure that I have enough paint on my brush. And that's something students beginning with acrylic kind of struggle with, and that's what we're going to be working on now, is how much paint do I need on my brush in order to get a smooth edge without making it kind of rough. So right here, I didn't have enough paint. I ran out of paint. So it's not something that we're going and outlining. We are painting all the way up to the edge of whatever object and making sure it is smooth. So do that now. Pay attention to your edges and your craftsmanship now. So this is just my first layer in the background. So if there are things that I don't like, I can obviously fix them later. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the thing that is farthest away. That's not the background. So the background's the farthest away. So I think I'm going to work in this area right here. I'm thinking about contrast. So contrast with value, but contrast in color. And I think, like I said, I'm going to use more warm colors. I think I'm going to make a transition that goes from my yellow orange to my red violet. So I am going to have those pre-mixed. This yellow orange looks very runny and watery. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. And that will help make it a little bit more opaque. So I'm going to be mixing on my palette paper. Now, I'm going to be doing all of these petals the same. So I want quite a bit of that. I want quite a bit of that paint right there. So as I start to make my mixtures in between, I'm going to have some that is yellow orange. I'm going to have a mixture with the red violet, and then half yellow orange, half red violet. And then actually this is not quite looking like violet, red violet. It's looking more like violet. And then all red violet. So I'm going to transition. It's a color to color transition. It's not from white to a color. I'm going to start with my lighter value, and I am going to go ahead and start with my lightest value, making sure there's enough paint there. Then I'm going to go to my next value, which is kind of a brownish color because these are almost complementary colors. Now, this is a case where I'm noticing I'm definitely going to need another layer because these colors are just so transparent. So once I paint my transition, I'm going to go smooth it out. I can paint this way. I'm going to get my edges all nice and clean. I'm going to paint around the edge of the canvas. And this is really just not looking the way I want it, but it's the first layer. So I'm not super worried about it. All right, I'm going to pause this and I'm going to keep painting in that same fashion. I'm using my pre-mixed values right over there.